Okay, hi everyone, Don here. Today I'm doing a shading tutorial and I will break it down into 5 bits. The first one is why practice on a sphere. Basically, the sphere is a round shape and it's the easiest to practice. And it's a simple shape. It doesn't. You can play around with the textures. You can play around with the way you shade it, and you can play around with the right light source very easily on it. And it's simply the best, by not only my opinion, by many's opinion, to practice on. The second thing, light source. Light source is probably the most important thing. You cannot start shading until you know where the light is coming from, because the shadow is going to fall on the opposite side of the light, and I think that's quite obvious to all of you. The next thing is the nature of the shadow. Shadow, let's say in this sphere like I'm shading right now, the shadow does not simply fall on one side of the ball. The shadow kind of wraps around it. Okay, shadow is kind of, think of it as a creepy little sort of a thing, like a mask that spreads around everywhere where light doesn't make it go away. Think about shadow as a living thing, and that's where you will understand the nature of it best. Another thing I want to talk about, if you probably noticed, both the spheres, the one I'm shading in 2D right now and the one I'm shading in kind of a more 3D effect, reflected light. I did not go to the very edge of the circle. I left a bit of space, and that's the reflected light, because there's always, no matter on what surface it stands on, there's always going to be of the reflected light. That's simply how it works, and the reflected light is what brings the realistic feeling into your drawing. Not only when you're drawing realistic pictures, but also when you're drawing your manga. Basically, having that bit of reflected light helps bring it out a lot, helps bring the shapes up a lot. And the last thing I wanted to mention is the different types of shade. You can have soft shading, which you just saw me do on the first sphere. The second sphere are shaded in 2D, something kind of like you see in mangas and animes. And the third one, I'm shading using both of the techniques. I'm using soft shading inside and outside for the reflected lights. I'm using hard shade, and that also helps you to achieve different kind of effects. And as you can see right now, I'm using a rubber to again get the hard edge outside and create kind of a hard reflected light on the top where the light is falling, and that's kind of I don't know, creates a nice shining effect, I guess. So I went through everything I want to say. Let me say again, most important, light source, then understanding the nature of the shadow. Remember, the shadow will simply go everywhere where light does not reach it. So that's why you have to understand the shape of the figure you're drawing very, very well before you can shade it. And that's why you practice on a sphere, because I think everyone understands what shape it is. And then the reflected light again brings realism to your drawing, gives you that believable shade. And even if realism is not where you're going, like I'm drawing setting right now, you still need to give it a bit of reflected light just to make it believable, I guess. Because that's what you're trying to do. Even if you're drawing manga, you're still trying to make it look believable. And again, there's loads of different types of shading. There's hard brush shading when you're painting, there's soft shading, there's hard edge shading, there's cell shading, there's loads of different types. You have to just look at every single one of them and pick which one works the best for you. But in every single one, same principles applied. Light source, nature of light, and the reflected light. So that's pretty much it. Just a little quick tutorial to tell you all I know about shading. Thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.